Good week for Bobby Wood, Hamburg, Sandro Wagner, Bote Baku, Andrej Kramaric Bad week for Cologne, Lars Stindl, Bruno, Labbadia, Serge, Gnabry, RB Leipzig. The table, the lowdown. After winning just 2 games from late August to early April, Hamburg have won 3 of their last 4 to put them within touching distance of yet another dramatic late active escapology. After a narrow win over fellow strugglers Freiburg last time out, their 3-1 win on Saturday puts them within 2 points of their opponents Wolfsburg, who sit in the relegation playoff spot where they finished last season. Lewis Holtby, who scored the second, now has 4 goals in his last 5 games, while Bobby Wood opened the scoring on his first start for 2 months. With HSV facing out of sorts Eintracht Frankfurt and Wolfsburg traveling to Leipzig next weekend, Hamburg could yet have their fate in their own hands on the last day. Despite their recent heroics, that playoff spot still looks the best Christian Titz's men can realistically hope for, after Freiburg and Mainz both picked up critical wins. Freiburg finally relegated Cologne with a 3-2 win, but it was the 05ers who recorded the biggest shock of the weekend with an emphatic 3-0 win over struggling RB Leipzig on Sunday. A win for Freiburg or Mainz next week, Gladbach away and Dortmund away respectively, would secure another season in the top flight. Both also have favorable home fixtures on the season's last day. At the top of the table, a much-changed Bayern Munich, captained for the first time by Mats Hummels, brushed aside an Eintracht Frankfurt side managed by their next boss Niko Kovac, in a dress rehearsal for the German Cup final on May 19. But before that, the champions have a mountain to climb in the second leg of their Champions League semi-final in Madrid on Tuesday. Sandro Wagner got Bayern second in a 4-1 win, and the target man wasn't slow in suggesting to Jupp Heynckes that he could be the man to make the difference. See the quotes. Hoffenheim started the weekend off with a 3-1 win over Hannover that featured a hat-trick from Andrej Kramaric and lifted them to 4th, but it came at a cost. Serge Gnabry limped off early after an early goal, while Karim Demirbay was also withdrawn. Hoffenheim said Gnabry has torn a groin muscle, but made no mention of a time frame for recovery, putting his potential World Cup participation in doubt. With Jerome Boateng's fitness unclear and Lars Stindl ruled out of Russia 2018 after picking up an ankle knock on Saturday, Joachim Löw's options seem to be narrowing by the day. Though a 1-1 draw with Gladbach after being reduced to 10 men early is creditable, Schalke are making heavy weather of guaranteeing participation in next season's Champions League. Their 2-0 win over Dortmund on matchday 30 is their only victory in the last 4, and they could still be caught by both Hoffenheim and Bayer Leverkusen. A win in Augsburg next weekend looks essential if Domenico Tedesco's men aren't to take the race to the last day. Along those lines, Schalke may want to send a thank you basket to Bremen goalkeeper Jiří Pavlenka. The Czech shot stopper came up with several big saves in his side's 1-1 draw with Borussia Dortmund, many of them in the final moments of the game. He batted away a header from Andre Schürrle from point-blank range in the 86th minute before denying Marco Reus in second-half stoppage time. Because of Pavlenka's heroics, Dortmund were unable to snatch second place away from Schalke. Serge Gnabry's groin injury has cast doubt over his World Cup hopes. The stats: Benjamin Pavard, Stuttgart; Naldo, Schalke; Matthias Ginter, Borussia Mönchengladbach; and Christian Gunter, Freiburg, are the only outfield players still in with a chance of playing every minute of this Bundesliga season. Sandro Wagner's goal against Frankfurt means he's scored against every side currently playing in Germany's top flight. The quotes: "Of course today is really bitter for us. But I can promise you one thing, we will most certainly be coming back." Goalkeeper Timo Horn will stay with Cologne in the second division, but he doesn't intend on being there long. "I am sure that we will remain in the Bundesliga next year. We are not giving up." Hamburg's Godoku Sakai has no intention of joining Horn & Co. "I don't know what to say. Unbelievable. Today couldn't have gone better for me." Debutant Bote Baku is almost speechless after his goal helped Mainz take a big step towards safety. "I think we're all at sea defending every cross, so we know what we have to do. It goes without saying that I want to play a part. We have injuries, and the coach will have to make changes." Sandro Wagner states his case to start in Madrid on Tuesday. "To injure myself at this time is very tough to take. Not only can I not help the team at a crucial part of the season, but also my World Cup dream is now over." Gladbach skipper Lars Stindl on the ankle injury: "That means he'll be watching the World Cup from afar. We did not do enough. We did not take our chances, and then when we went behind we didn't manage any more shots on their goal. You can't win a game of football playing like that." RB Leipzig keeper Peter Gulak doesn't pull any punches after his side slipped to defeat at Mainz. The weird, 2 weeks ago, Freiburg was called back from the dressing room so that Mainz will be able to take a penalty that was awarded after the halftime whistle has already been blown. Freiburg's ultras have replied to the incident shakily against Cologne, calling for fans to remain close to their seats, as they might miss a goal. So goes Cologne's famous stadium anthem, in which the fans pledge allegiance to their club through thick and thin, and it's going to get very thin now after the Billy Goats were officially relegated to the second division after a 3-2 defeat to Freiburg. Nevertheless, the traveling Cologne fans applauded their relegated players. Hamburg's Bobby Wood sends Cone Casteels the wrong way as he puts HSV 1-0 up against Wolfsburg. Louis Holtby doubled Hamburg's lead moments later before Josip Brekalo halved the deficit for the Wolves. But Luca Waldschmidt's late third allowed the Northerners to take another step towards what would be their most miraculous escape yet. Pablo de Blasius kept Mainz's survival hopes alive by converting a penalty in the first half. His spot kick on Sunday gave Mainz a 3-0 win over Leipzig and was his third goal in his last 3 games. Hertha Berlin goalkeeper Rune Jarstein scrambles across his goal to try and stop Michael Gregorich's deflected effort, in vain. Visitors Augsburg took a 2-goal lead in the Olympic Stadium before goals from Vedadi Bišević and Davy Selk drew the Berliners level. Thomas Delaney, far left, took advantage of Roman Bürki, second from right, being off his line, lobbing a header over the Dortmund goalkeeper. The strike leveled the score at 1-1, also the final score, and denied Dortmund a chance to go second. Schalke's Nabil Bentaleb is sent off by referee Harm Osmers. Bentaleb was initially only shown a yellow card for a foul on Borussia Mönchengladbach captain Lars Stindl, but he received a straight red on top of that when he proceeded to slap Stindl in the face. The game finished 1-1 in Gelsenkirchen. Few players are as closely tied to a club as Christian Gentner is to Stuttgart. The captain came up through Stuttgart's youth setup, went for a mediocre spell at Wolfsburg, then returned and has stayed with the club in the first and second divisions alike. Still a key cog in the midfield, he was left all alone at the back post ahead in the game's only goal. Bayern Munich took the lead against Eintracht Frankfurt thanks to captain within their ranks, Niklas Dorsch. However, the 20-year-old is actually the captain of Bayern's U23 reserve team, who play in the 4th tier. But with a huge game in Madrid looking in midweek, coach Jupp Heynckes had drafted in several youth players as Bayern beat Frankfurt 4-1. Hummels wore the armband on Saturday. Hoffenheim's Adam Zalawi does everything he can to force the ball over the line against Hannover, but it ends up just the wrong side of the post. Hoffenheim won the game 3-1 on Friday night as Julian Nagelsmann's team took an important step towards the Champions League. Author